Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Schultz, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We got some roster movement to catch you up to speed on as the Kansas City Chiefs have signed one player, moved on from a couple others. We'll tell you everything you need to know in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we are almost at 72,000 subscribers here on the channel. Just 6 away. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. You get the idea. For daily Kansas City Chiefs news and rumors, live shows each and every Tuesday. We're also bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. You gotta be subscribed. Best part about it, 100% free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now. Never miss a moment. We'll get started with today's show. So we have some roster movement for the Chiefs ahead of OTAs, which are coming up very, very fast. And the Chiefs are doing a little experimenting, I think would be one way to call it, with these moves that they are going with. Let's catch you up to speed on what they are. The signing that came in, the Chiefs signed Tremayne Anchrum Jr., an offensive guard, and he's expected to come in and compete for one of the backup offensive lineman roles. We'll talk more about him coming up later on in the show. You may remember a guy by the name of Keaontay Ingram, the running back. He was waived ultimately and dealt with some injury issues. Didn't really see him a lot in there, so that's not a huge surprise. And then Justin Lockhart, the wide receiver, he agreed to an injury settlement. So both those players, Ingram and Lockhart, are waived and done and have moved on from. I'll be real with y'all. None of this is not too earth-shattering based on what we've seen with these two players that were moved on from and who was brought in. This really big picture changes nothing for the Kansas City Chiefs. These are guys that are, kind of lucky to be around. For the most part, if everything went right, they would be practice squad players. Maybe a bit different with Anchrum. We'll talk more about him coming up in just a bit. But you think about it, it's a lot easier to waive guys like Ingram and Lockhart when you have something now that you did not have just even a few weeks ago, and that's depth at the skill positions. With what the Chiefs have done at the running back spot, signing Elijah Mitchell and drafting Brashard Smith, they got an array of running backs now. And then you look at the receiver room with drafting Jalen Royals, bringing back Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster here. They're doing pretty good. So all things considered, it makes a ton of sense for where the Kansas City Chiefs are at with these moves here. We're going to talk about the signing of Tremayne Anchrum Jr. in just a bit. But first, let's ask you, how would you grade the Chiefs roster moves? A, B, C, D, or F? Way in the comments section. Tell me what you think. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in and tell us what your grade is. My grade is an A. You got rid of, not to be rude here, but dead weight, guys you didn't need, and you're just fine at those positions. And you got some help on the offensive line, which I think we're sitting here today, and we feel a lot better about this offensive line situation compared to what we were a few weeks ago with Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons into the fold and Kingsley's there. I mean, you got a lot more options than you did a while back. And now bringing in Anchrum. This is somebody that has experience, that has been part of a Super Bowl champion roster. He's been in the league a minute. With that said, I'll be real, it's still a long shot for him to make the 53-man roster at this point. But one of the reasons why I gave this an A for the grade here is it costs you nothing. It's a guy with experience, and you don't have anything to lose from this. At the very worst case, okay, you bring in Anchrum to compete, and you get more competition at those guard spots in the interior of the offensive line. You get iron sharpening iron, and you let the best man win. Because we don't know at this juncture what that starting offensive line is going to look like just yet. We have an idea, but we don't know for certain. Jalen Moore, Josh Simmons, Kingsley, what's going to happen here? Well, now if I throw in Anchrum with Wanya Morris and others here, let's test these guys and get as many quality reps in as possible to make sure that they get this thing right. More on Anchrum. Previously played with the Texans, the Saints, the Seahawks, and the Rams. Won a Super Bowl championship with the LA Rams. And his experience includes 31 career games played with one start in his pro football career. And here's more on just exactly his resume and what he brings to the table. In 2020, he was a 7th-round pick out of Clemson, so he's still not that old at this point in time. He's had 2 long stints on injured reserve. He's been pretty banged up in his career to this point, so that could be something to monitor there to see if another injury potentially occurs and how well his body goes at this point. But you go back to 2023 with the LA Rams. That season was when he played the most, as he played in all 17 games that year for Los Angeles, including 96 snaps on offense in 2023. But since moving on from the Rams, what's changed for him is he's become a journeyman of sorts. This is his 4th different team now, including Kansas City here, that he's played for since 2024. That's a lot of teams in a short amount of time that he's had a chance to suit up for with. So, do you think that Anchrum is going to make the 53-man roster for Kansas City? I lean towards no, but I'm not completely ruling it out. And we're going to show you in a moment what one Chiefs insider is saying of what it's going to take for him to make the roster. But we want to hear from you guys. Type Y for yes, in for no. Will he make the roster or not? Chime in, tell us what you think. Chiefs rookie jerseys are on sale now. Chatsports.com/Chiefs jersey. Speaking of rookies, got Josh Simmons' jersey available. You'll get his jersey with his current number on it. Or there's the other rookies that are also available at that same link. Maybe you don't want a rookie and you're needing another Mahomes jersey, or you need a Kelsey jersey, Chris Jones, whatever it may be. We have all sorts of selections to choose from. They're all in one place, chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. Men's and women's options, all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Go check it out today. Chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys to get yours now. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Now, the folks over at SI Chiefs have made the argument that there is a possibility that Anchrum can make the 53-man roster for Kansas City. But, Tyler, how? Well, let's let SI Chiefs explain. Trey Smith seemingly has the right guard position on lock, but adding Anchrum to fill a potential backup role is most likely his best way to crack the roster. He has experience in a professional setting and also has been a part of a Super Bowl winning team in the past. The big kicker that will hold Anchrum back is the fact he hasn't played in the NFL in over a year. Not to say that he isn't capable, but it is something that has to be considered. The soon-to-be 27-year-old has made the most of his career thus far, especially after being selected 250th overall back in the 2020 NFL Draft. If there is a player who knows how to earn his spot, it's Anchrum. I'll put it this way. It isn't impossible. A lot of things would have to go right. Anchrum, first off, would have to stay healthy. That's the big step. And then separate himself in what appears to be a crowded competition. And in his case, he's not going to start anywhere. He's looking just to make a 53-man roster. It's not impossible, but I do think it's unlikely. But at the very least, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, it doesn't hurt you at all. I think it's worth a shot. Bring in a guy with experience. Make this competition better. Let the best man win. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the channel.